Hi everyone, I am Teacher Jen, your virtual teacher for today in English. Today, we will be learning interesting things in our lesson. So come on, let's learn. Start with, in this lesson, as a learner, you are used in accomplishing homework and research work given to you by your teachers. Wanting to fully understand these learning activities, you work on finding more information from various sources of materials. The gathered details from various sources support your answers and maximizes your understanding of the lesson. In this lesson, you need to achieve this. You must be aware to where the information and how to access or use various materials or sources. Also, the relevance and credibility of a source of information you see must also be considered. In this lesson, you are expected to compare and contrast contents of materials viewed from sources of information. So to continue, let us first know our learning objectives. Our learning objectives for this lesson are the following. Classify the different sources of information. Make a comparison from viewed informational materials. Differentiate the information gathered using a graphic organizer. And show carefulness in gathering information. So these are our learning objectives for this lesson. So our lesson for today is about the different sources of information. Are you ready to learn? Come on, let's learn. So I have here different groups of pictures. The first group, the second group, and the third group. So I want you to observe keenly each group of pictures. So based on the different pictures shown, what sources do you see in gathering information for your assignments and other school activities? Let us discover it one by one. Are you ready? Let's learn. So based from the first group of picture, what do you use to gather information? Yes, that's right. It is books or newspapers. How about the second group of pictures? What do you use to gather information? Very good. It is radio or television. How about the third group of picture? What do you use to gather information? That's right, computer or the internet. So basically, there are different sources of information. These are the print materials, the broadcast materials, and the online materials. Examples of the print materials are the newspapers or the books. The broadcast materials are the television or the radio, while the online materials is the internet or computer. Let us continue with our guided activity number 1. In this activity, you are given a situation below and you are to classify each as to print, broadcast, or online. So we will be doing this activity together. Did you understand? Okay, let's start. Number 1. Micah needs to watch news on television. What do you think is the answer? Very good. It is broadcast. Let's proceed to the next number. Mrs. De Chavez used the chart which she brought. Mrs. De Chavez used the chart which she bought from the local bookshop in explaining the water cycle? What do you think is the answer? That's right, it is print. Let's proceed to the next number. Alex tours around Camotes Island using the interactive map installed in his cell phone. What could be the best answer? Very good, that's online. Number 4. The pupils watch available videos online on gardening. What's the answer? That's right, it's online. My parents love to read newspapers every morning. Very good. It is print. You've done a you've done a great job. You've done a great job. So basically, there are different sources of information. Let us know the different sources of information. First is this picture. We have the print materials. These print materials consist of all written or printed materials. Examples of these resources are printed version of textbooks, workbooks, reference books, magazines, newspapers, and journals. These print materials basically are the things or the sources of materials that you can see and you can touch. Next, the second source of information is the broadcast materials. Broadcast materials or resources are transmitted to public through radio and television. Public service announcements, daily news, weather forecasts, interviews, documentaries, comedies, movies, sports, and advertisements or commercials are a typical example of broadcast materials. So these materials are transmitted to public through the use of radio and television. The third sources of information is the online materials. Online materials are learning resources that are made available online. Common examples of online resources are blogs or vlogs, podcasts, audiobooks, ebooks, videos, mobile apps, web pages, social media, and email or electronic mails. Basically, these online materials can be seen through the use of internet. As a learner, in accessing online materials, take note to be careful and vigilant with the authorship, credibility, and authenticity of internet documents since some sources may contain unverified information. With the use of various sources of information, you may now compare and contrast the information viewed from print, broadcast, and online platforms. The skills in comparing and contrasting are necessary in enriching your knowledge in finding reliable and credible sources of information. So when we access information online, we need to be careful because there are some information that are unverified or maybe we can get fake information. Let's now proceed to our second guided activity. In this activity, presented below are various sources of information. You are to identify which source of information does not belong to each group. You will write your answers in your notebook. Then, after eliminating the material which does not belong to each group, you will classify the three remaining materials as to print, online, or broadcast materials. For example, blogs or vlogs, ebooks, TV news, electronic mails. Which material does not belong to the group? Correct, it is TV news. So the three remaining materials are online materials. Very good. Let us start with our next activity. Number 1, textbooks, workbooks, reference books, and daily TV news. Which of the following does not belong to the group? That's right, it's daily TV news. So how do we classify the remaining materials? These are print materials. Very good. Number 2, TV documentaries, ebook, radio comedies, TV commercial. Which does not belong to the group? It's ebook. Very good. How do we classify the remaining materials? These are the broadcast materials. Number 3, blogs, vlogs, written diary, videos, web pages. Which of the following materials does not belong to the group? It's the written diaries. How do we classify the remaining materials? These are online materials. Number 4, printed magazines, printed newspapers, social media, and printed journals. Which of the following does not belong to the group? It is the social media. So how do we classify the remaining materials? These are print materials. That's right. Now, next number, email, book, ebook, and mobile app. Which of the following does not belong to the group? That's right. It is the book. How do we classify the remaining materials? Very good. These are online materials. You did a great job. Very good, learners. Let us now proceed to our guided activity number 3. In your notebook, you are to classify the materials below as to print, broadcast, and online material. Use the table provided. So I have here the list of sources of information, and you are to classify the following whether it is print materials, broadcast materials, or online materials. I will be giving you 3 minutes to answer. So when the time ends, we will be checking your work. Agree? Okay, very good. Your time starts now. You only have 30 seconds left. Okay, your time is up. Let us check your answers if they are correct. Let us start with printed magazines. Where can we put printed magazines? Very good, it belongs to the print materials. How about the TV documentaries? That's right, it belongs to broadcast materials. How about the blogs? Very good, it belongs to online materials. How about TikTok, the one that you do every day? Very good. It belongs to online materials. How about the TV news? That's right. It belongs to the broadcast materials. How about the online journals? Okay, from the word online, it belongs to online materials. The printed dictionary. That's right. It belongs to the print materials because as of the present time, we can use the dictionary which can be found in our cell phone or in our laptop through the use of internet. Next, the TV or movies. That's right, the broadcast materials. Radio news. Very good. It also belongs to the broadcast materials. How about the websites? That's right, it belongs to the online materials. The fiction books. It belongs to print. How about the ebooks? Very good. It belongs to the online materials. So I think all of your answers are correct and you did a great job. Let us now proceed to our fourth guided activity. You will read the passage below on chemical and physical changes. Then compare and contrast chemical change and physical changes by arranging the information using graphic organizer below. Identify their differences and similarities, and you do this in your notebook. Shown here inside the box are the different changes that may occur to chemical and physical change. So we will be using the Venn diagram. The outside circle of the first circle is the chemical change, and the second outside circle is the physical change. So in the center circle, so the intersecting circle is their similarities. So after reading the text, you are to identify the following changes, whether it is chemical change, physical change, or it both happens to chemical and physical change. So this is the text that you will read about the chemical and physical change. So this is the given text that we will read, which is all about the chemical and physical changes. I will be giving you 3 minutes to read this one, and your time starts now. Okay, that's enough for your reading activity. Now, you will be answering this one and I will be giving you a 1-minute timer using my phone, and your time starts now. So you only have 30 seconds left. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, your time is up and let's know if your answers are correct. Let's go first with the affect state of matter. What change does this one belong? It belongs to both the chemical and the physical change. How about the temporary change? It belongs to the physical change. Very good. How about the permanent change? It belongs to chemical change. That's right. Do not change their properties. This one belongs to physical change. Very good. The changes of properties or changes to properties. It belongs to the chemical change. That's right. Very good. What are the different sources of information? These are the print materials. Very good. That's right. The broadcast materials. Next is the online materials. Very good. So who can give an example of print materials? Very good. Print materials are printed version of textbooks, workbooks, reference books, magazines, newspapers, and journals. How about the broadcast materials? That's right. Broadcast materials are resources transmitted to the public through radio and television, public services, announcements, daily news, weather forecasts, interviews, documentaries, comedies, movies, sports, and advertisements or commercials are typical examples of broadcast materials. Very good. Materials are resources transmitted to the public through radio and television, public services, announcements, daily news, weather forecasts, interviews, documentaries, comedies, movies, sports, and advertisements or commercials are typical examples of broadcast materials. Very good. How about the online materials? Very good. Online materials are the blogs, the podcasts, the audiobooks, ebooks, videos, mobile apps, web pages, social media, and emails or electronic mails. So why is gathering information important? Why do you think so? It is important. That's right. Gathering information is important so that we could know what is happening around us. It is important because it can add knowledge to us learners or to you as a learners. Do we need to know information which came from a reliable source and why? Yes, that's right. We need to know. Yes, that's right. We need to know information which came from a reliable source because knowing information from a reliable source let people become aware of the things happening and to avoid misconception to the shared information. Next is our fifth guided activity. In this activity, you will compare and contrast TV or radio or printed advertisements of two shampoos you are familiar with. Using a Venn diagram, note their similarities and differences, and after which you will write a paragraph explaining the content of the said diagram. You will do this on your worksheet, and please be guided for the given rubric. So this is our given rubric for this activity. So our criteria are the following: the content and the mechanics. The lowest score is 1 and the highest score is 4. So these are the shampoo that you are going to compare and contrast. And afterwards, you will be writing your paragraph. So this activity will be passed together with your evaluation. So for your evaluation, you are to complete the statements below by supplying the missing terms. Select from the given choices below. So you will be selecting your answers here inside the box. So you will do this in your activity notebook or in your worksheets. Is using any available sources, search for information about cats and dogs as pets. Identify which of the two is considered as the best pet. Note down the details and list their similarities and differences using the graphic organizer below. And afterwards, write a paragraph explaining the content of the diagram. So the same as with the first activity, or our guided activity number 5, you will have the same rubric. So which is content and the mechanics. The lowest is 1 and the highest is 4. So I will be providing you worksheets for this activity. So if you notice, the first animal shown is a cat. The second one is a dog. So here in the intersection part, this is where you write the similarities between the dog and the cat. So here in the other side, you will write the different characteristics of a cat. Why is it considered as best pet? The next is on the other side, on the other hand, you will write the different characteristics of a dog, why it is considered as the best pet. So after noting down details on which of the following are the best pet, you will be writing your paragraph based on your details noted in your graphic organizer. So you will be passing your activity or your evaluation together with the guided activity number 5, your evaluation, your 2 evaluation, and the last one is your enrichment activity or assignment.